Hello and happy Wednesday. Welcome to your next mini training. Today we're going to talk about both grounding and your root chakra health. And so, the last mini training that we had together, we discussed our overall energy body. So we talked about our aura, we talked about our chakras, our meridians, how they all work together and how it impacts your health overall. Because really, that's your energy body, all those pieces put together. And your energy body is made up of your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your spiritual body. And so your energy body impacts all of these levels of your health. And that's why it's so critical to be able to understand your energy body and be able to take just exquisite care of your energy body. And so, for those of you who haven't met me, my name is Amber Meyer, and I'm a soul alignment coach. I am really passionate about helping people take care of their energy body and understanding how it impacts their overall health, and showing you some tips and tricks that you can do to continue to take care of your energy body outside of going and seeing a healer. And most of you probably also know me for Akashic Records, which is another really big passion of mine. And so if anyone comes on and joins me, feel free to say hi to me in the comments so that I know you're here. And we're going to go ahead and jump into our content for today. Really, what I want to be able to share with you today is what the function of the root chakra is and why it's so critically important to keep healthy for the rest of your energy body. And then also discuss what is grounding, why do it. And then I also want to be able to share some tips and tricks with you on how you can stay healthy and balanced, including a quick meditation that you can do to both get yourself grounded and to keep your root chakra nice and open and healthy. Hey Connie, hey Christina, thanks for jumping in. It's good to see you both live. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to throw those in the chat. It's always fun to see those. Hey Brenda, good to see you. Awesome. So I'm so glad you're all here. And so in the last mini training we had about the energy body, I shared really briefly a metaphor that the angels had shared with me about how the energy body works. And really what it is the angels showed it to me like your energy body's like a kitchen sink. I have to ask you all, can you hear dogs barking in the background? I have a lot of really loud neighbor dogs. Brenda, you're saying you need to do a massive overhaul. Anyone can hear dogs in the background? No? Hey Patty. Hi Lisa. I get to see you in a week. I'm so excited about that. But if you all can hear the dogs, let me know. Oh yeah, that's actually not Ivy, Brenda, amazingly enough. We have a neighbor dog in the back, kind of kitty corner to us who has just as big of a bark as her. So I'm just going to close my window real quick so we don't hear that as much. Sorry for the interruption. I thought we were going to have quiet time, but yes, we have a circle of dogs that like to bark at each other. And amazingly enough, my dog is not involved in it right now. Normally she is, and sometimes she's even causing it, but I think she's sleeping right now. So this should be better. Good. So going back to where I was at, the angels like to share a lot of metaphors. And what the angels shared with me about the energy body is that it basically functions a lot like a kitchen sink. And I think this is something that we can all imagine is a kitchen sink. And so really, energy is meant to flow in your body, it's meant to flow out your body. So I know a lot of people talk about energy protection and different things like that, and none of it's actually really meant for energy to not flow in you, because it's really what our energy body is meant to do. It flows in, it flows out, but you're not supposed to be different when it's done. And so like a kitchen sink, you turn the faucet on, clean water runs in, clean water runs down the drain, you still have a kitchen sink, or clean kitchen sink I should say. And so that's really kind of how our energy body works too. Energy flows in a variety of different places, and then it flows out your body. And your root chakra, really kind of the main chakra that we're talking about today, is basically like the drain of the sink. And so it's really one of the main exits of your body for energy to leave your body after it flows into you. And so the problem with is that our sinks and our energy body rarely stay sparkling clean. And what happens, like with a sink is, people toss food particles and non water liquids in there. And before you know it, the drain gets clogged up, things get backed up, and pretty soon you have a kitchen sink that's full of backed up dirty water, and now you have a dirty backed up sink. And so that's basically what happens with your energy body as well. And so, maybe you throw in different irritants like triggers and unprocessed emotions and other people's energy stuck in your energy field, traumas, you just toss all this stuff in basically the sink of your energy body. And the next thing you know, you got a backed up energy body. And as your body kind of naturally tries to clear itself out, it ends up getting kind of stuck in your root chakra, and then it can't exit your body. And then what happens? You end up getting this backed up, kind of dirty, stuck energy in your energy field, and you really start to feel that energy around you. So, what would you imagine some of the symptoms would be to having kind of this clogged up, stuck energy body? Throw it in the chat for me. Hey, Erin. Glad you could join too. So yeah, anything, what do you think happens to you, or what the symptoms would be if you had a clogged up energy body? I'll wait just a second to see if anyone has comments they want to add in. You snap at people, lethargy, yeah, those are definitely good ones. Well, not good ones, not stuff you want, but yeah, definitely stuff that happens. Yeah, so you can get all sorts of symptoms you don't want when your energy body is backed up. Carmen, you're saying heaviness. Yeah, absolutely. Aches and pains, Lauren. Yeah. Connie, stress. Yeah. You tired and depressed, Erin says. Yeah, absolutely. Deep internal aches and pains. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Lauren. I like that. But yeah, you can be just so tired, so fatigued, feeling lost. Anyone go through periods where it's like you feel like you can't make a decision at all, like about anything that should be super easy? That can be a symptom. Christina, I'm seeing you're saying headache. Maybe I saw heavy. Maybe you feel really anxious. I notice that when my root chakra is really kind of backed up and I'm not very grounded, I get a lot of anxiety. I might feel really stuck, and a lot of times that goes with that anxiety for me. Like, I don't know what direction to go. I can't make a decision. Yeah, Lisa, you're saying yuck and anxiety. Yeah, totally. You just might not feel like yourself. And so these are big things that come up when our energy body is just really kind of clogged and backed up. And a lot of times when we have all these symptoms going on, if you take a look at the energy body, like if you did an energetic read of the chakras, the root chakra is probably pretty backed up or closed and clogged up and having some issues. And so this is just such an important chakra to pay attention to. For a lot of people, like this is kind of the number one. Like if you paid attention to one chakra, this is the one, because it's so foundational to the rest of your chakras that you really want to make sure that you have this one in order to be able to do a lot of the healing work that you want to do. One thing that I've seen, in a lot with empaths, and there's a lot of empaths here, so I work a lot with empaths, is a lot of times I'll take a peek at their energy body in a healing session, and a lot of times what I end up seeing is I often see a lot of red in an empath's aura, and that red for me signifies just that deep emotional feeling. And like we talked about in the last mini training, we really want our energy bodies to be really bright and vibrant, and so if we want red in our aura, we want it to be bright red. But what I end up seeing is a lot of times that the lower and further out you go in the energy body, it starts to turn like a really murky brown, like really dark brown. And that's my way of seeing energy that's just kind of like old and stuck, and it's just been there for a really long time. And so when I see that, I know that people are having a lot of these different symptoms. And and it just really is, it's really needed to be able to clear out all that energy. But then, you know, you can clear that energy out yourself. You can go to a healer and clear it out. But then if you're not really looking at like the core issue and paying attention to your root chakra and doing some things regularly to keep it open, you're going to end up having that backup of energy over and over again. And then the healing almost becomes like a band-aid treatment where you really want to work on healing kind of the core issues. So, anyone here? I think I saw aches and pains. But one thing I wanted to mention: a lot of times, if you have like that kind of that deep ache in your legs, I get this one when I'm not paying real good attention to my energy body health. A lot of times, that's connected to backed up chakras on your feet. And so, as I mentioned, your root chakra is one of the main exit points in your body. Your feet are another one. And so, in some ways, your feet and your root chakra have some similarities in their function. But what I find really common with my clients is that if you have some of that deep aching in your legs and problems with your legs, a lot of times your feet chakras are pretty blocked. And so, opening those up and really being able to connect the meridians between your feet chakras and your root can really open up those channels as well. So that would be something, if you are experiencing that, try to really open up your feet chakras too. So um, yeah, so let's talk more about your root chakra and like what its function is. And then we'll also talk about some different things that you can do to keep your root chakra nice and healthy. And with this work, I think it's fun. There's kind of endless ways to keep your root chakras open. So I'm just going to be sharing a few of them with you. And so your root chakra, a lot of people call this your first chakra. And so this is the one that is at the base of your tailbone. And most people experience seeing this chakra as red. And if this chakra were to have a mantra, it would say, I am grounded. And so your root chakra and grounding really go hand in hand, which is why we're talking about both subjects today. In general, if this root chakra is balanced, you are going to feel safe, secure, grounded, on your path, successful. We'll talk a little bit more about these. And then if you're feeling more unbalanced in this root chakra, then you might experience more anxiety or more fear, feeling stuck, depressed, can't get ahead, not feeling supported. You know, a lot of the things that we talked about kind of with having that backed up energy are really common when you're having issues with your root chakra specifically. And so each chakra in your body has some key functions that really oversees all dimensions of your body. And when I say all dimensions of your body, I mean your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your spiritual body. And so all four of these bodies make up your whole energy body and is reflected in your aura and the rest of your energy body. And so the key functions of the root chakra is that it really represents our foundation. And I think that's such a great word for the root chakra because, you know, as we're talking about it today, is it's really the foundation for the rest of your energy body as well. And so you can spend lots of time working on the rest of your energy body, but if your root chakra is kind of not, you know, in check and where it should be, you're probably going to have a hard time getting a lot further ahead with your other healing. And so the root chakra is really about safety, security, instinct, the feeling of being grounded. And the root chakra also holds beliefs about where and if you belong, like in your family and society, and provides that physical feeling of safety and security, both in family and in groups. And the root chakra can also give you the ability to stand up for yourself and really be able to provide life's necessities for yourself. And so some common, more emotional issues that may arise if you have a really unbalanced or kind of blocked root chakra would be loneliness, insecurities, feeling ungrounded, not feeling supported, not feeling confident, stuck. You know, I hear, you know, people feel stuck all the time. The big place that you need to look first is your root chakra. And then depending on where you're feeling stuck, you might have some other energy blocks going on as well. You might feel indecisive, you might feel abandoned, depressed, anxious. Also, different things like addictions and phobias and obsessions also oftentimes have a connection in your root chakra as well. It can come with a sense of not being safe, so that might be in jobs and relationships, kind of always waiting for that other shoe to drop, feeling kind of paranoid about it. That can definitely be a root chakra issue. And so then there's also common physical issues that tend to arise with each different chakra too. And oftentimes you will notice that the systems or the organs or the parts of the body that it oversees often are near that chakra is pretty common as well. And so for the root chakra, some of the areas that it oversees is low back. So if you have chronic low back pain, your root chakra is definitely a place that you want to look. Sciatica is a really big one that shows up with root chakra issues. Varicose veins, bladder or elimination problems can also be related there. Water retention, issues with your groin, your hips, and even all the way down your legs. So, if you have issues with your knees or your ankles, your feet, that sort of thing, also tends to be a root chakra issue. Also, adrenal glands. And for men, it can also include prostate issues as well. So, each chakra oversees quite a few different functions, again, both emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I think on a spiritual aspect, the root chakra is really, really important because it really helps you stay connected to your body. And so that's what we're going to talk more about when we talk about being grounded. But the act of being grounded is being connected to the earth, but it's also being really embodied in yourself. And it's really hard to be able to progress spiritually when you're not fully embodied in your body. And so it almost seems like a paradox because I think a lot of spiritual teachers have taught that the body is dense, it's energetically low, and then that can lead to people kind of rejecting their bodies. But our body is actually the most magical tool that we have, and for us to really be able to embody all of our power and all of our magic, we have to be completely embodied, and we do that through our root chakra and through grounding. Okay, and I'm seeing Chastity, thanks for joining us. Lauren, you're asking about arthritis. It certainly could. I would look at where in the body you're having arthritis. And so if you're finding yourself having arthritis more, say like in your hips, knees, ankles, that type of area, it certainly could be related to the root chakra. And then there's also different types of medical conditions often relate to different types of trapped emotions in the body too, which arthritis definitely has some specific things with it as well. There's a really amazing book by now that I'm trying to think of the author's name, it's not going to come to me. Louise Hayes. She's the founder of Hay House Books, where many of you have probably bought many awesome books and oracle decks. But she has a really awesome book that actually has like a table of common physical issues and like what the stuck emotion is involved in it. So that might be something fun to look at too. Chastity, you're having sciatica right now. Yeah, that's a bummer. Yeah, I can totally like when I've gone through periods of my life where I had sciatica, where I had really chronic low back pain, and I can absolutely correlate it to times where I felt completely unsupported in my life. Whether it was financially with people in my life, by myself, like not supporting myself. I can really correlate those two. Um, these are all different things that you should have awareness around your root chakra and all the different impacts that it can have on your life. And we're talking about it being in balance or out of balance, but some things to look at is when we're talking about balance, we're talking about balance, not over functioning or under functioning. So being out of balance could actually mean that your root chakra is over functioning, because that's not helpful as well. So, but if you're able to really balance and open your root chakra, it allows negative emotions and fears to be released. So you're not holding on to those into your body and having kind of that trapped emotions and trauma in your body. It can help you improve your confidence and like your ability to just move forward in life. A common message that I get from angels when I'm doing healing work on people too is they'll show me people like with their feet in like a cement block, or like maybe with like shoes with their laces tied, different things like that just show us like they feel like they can't take a step forward, that they're that they literally can't move, or they're, if they take a step they're going to trip and fall. A lot of times that is super associated with the root chakra being blocked. A balanced root chakra really generates the flow of energy to all your other chakras too. So all 7 chakras, well, really all your chakras, but we often talk about the main 7 ones. They're all important and they're all interconnected with each other. And usually if you balance one chakra, it's going to create some positive impact on your other chakras too. In general, I would suggest looking at your root chakra first and balancing that one first, because it really can give you a bigger sense of like stability and rootedness that's necessary to be able to make the changes in the other areas of your energy body as well. So there's lots of different ways that you can keep your root chakra open and clear. Of course, one of the big ones I like to think about is energy healing. And there's so many different ways to do energy healing too. You could do something like Reiki or healing touch. You could do theta healing, angel healing, any of those things. You can do it on yourself if you're trained in those things, or you can also go to a trained healer to help you clear out your energy body. My personal suggestion that I have found to be really helpful for me is I do a lot of energy maintenance on myself, and so I do a lot of regular clearing on myself, and then I like to go see an energy healer regularly too, just to kind of help me do a deeper clean is like what I like to think about it, to really kind of clean out the energy and be able to get me a bit more balanced. And so I think it's helpful to be able to know how to do some of it yourself, but also be able to lean on others for support too. I figure I always have blind spots too. They can help me see what I'm not seeing about myself as well. Then you also can keep your energy, your root chakra open just by simply grounding more often. And so we'll talk about grounding in just a second here, but just the act of making sure that you're grounded more often shows your root chakra how to kind of stay open and clear. It's almost like building a muscle, like showing your root chakra, like here's how to stay open, here's how to clear regularly, and then it starts to kind of do it more naturally on its own. You can also use sound healing. You can look at using different crystals or oils to help keep an open and balanced root chakra as well. A couple crystals I would suggest looking at if you enjoy crystal healing is carnelian or garnet, black tourmaline, tiger's eye, these, and a lot of darker stones tend to work well for the root chakra, or ones that are more of a red color tend to work really nicely. If you're more into essential oils, sandalwood, rosemary, cedar, rosewood, those are all different essential oils that can help you with your root chakra health as well. So let's talk about grounding next then. And so grounding is really an exercise that connects you energetically to the earth and to your body. And so it's really all about being embodied. And so it allows you to be more connected to your body. It allows you to be more present in the moment, and it helps you receive nourishing energy. And so I know that me personally, I'm like naturally an ungrounded person. This is something that I really have to focus on. And usually the thing that really helps me know that I am not grounded is I will realize I'm completely not present in the moment. Whatever I'm doing, I'm not paying attention to it and my brain is somewhere else. I'm guessing many of you can relate to this. Maybe someone in your family is talking to you and then you're suddenly like, oh shit, I have no idea what they just said to me because I was off in la la land somewhere else doing something else. And so that's a really good sign for me that like I need to do some grounding right now. But if you're feeling ungrounded regularly, you might experience a number of problems or issues as well, such as like feeling lightheaded, forgetfulness, clumsiness, lack of focus, feeling just super scattered in lots of different directions. It can also cause inaccurate intuition or a hard time connecting to your intuition, or even trouble manifesting. So, yeah, Chastity, I'm saying, hearing you say, oh, yeah. So, being grounded is definitely something that I have to keep on my radar and do regularly. And so, what I find is kind of like meditation, like if you were to do like a 5 minute meditation every day or like a 2 minute meditation a couple times a day, it's probably going to get you a lot further than if you did a 2 hour meditation once a month. And so grounding is really similar in that way. The more you're able to connect, to the earth and do your grounding, the more again it's like exercising that muscle, and it's so much easier to then stay grounded after you do that. So um, there's a lot of different ways that you can get grounded as well. So there's some really simple things like just getting outside can really help you be more embodied in yourself and be connected to the earth. Touching the earth, like putting your feet in the grass, putting your hands in the dirt, so doing things like gardening can be extremely grounding. Drinking water is really grounding. Eating heavier foods can be grounding too. I often don't like saying that, just because I probably don't need an excuse to eat heavy foods all the time. And actually, like chocolate and some sugary foods can really be grounding as well. But again, I really don't need an excuse to eat more chocolate. But you can also do root chakra healing, and you can do a healing, like a grounding meditation as well. And there are probably more grounding meditations and ways to do that than you would ever be interested in seeing. But the good news is that there's tons and tons of ways of doing it. There's not necessarily a right or a wrong way to ground. It's really about finding what resonates for you. And so if you ever try a grounding meditation and you're like, oh, that did nothing for me, don't feel like you did something wrong, because you totally didn't. All that means is simply is that's not the one for you. Try a different one. And if you're like me, I can't do the same grounding exercise over and over. I get bored out of my mind if I do the same thing too long. So I have a whole bunch of different ways that I ground, and I just kind of randomly pick what I want to do. Or sometimes I just leave it up to spirit. I'm like, angels, show me how to ground today. And let me tell you, they can get really, really creative. So that's something I would suggest giving a shot too. You can also use different crystals and oils to help you in your grounding practice as well. And so again, if you're into crystals, some different ones to ground that can be helpful are like hematite, smoky quartz, red jasper. I really like Shiva stones for grounding too. But again, typically grounding crystals are going to be darker stones. So any that kind of are some of those darker, blacker stones like hematite, smoky quartz, tourmaline, all of those are likely going to have a really deep grounding feel for you. I actually have right in my lap right now, I have dragon's blood. And so this one, for whatever reason, I find really grounding. So I often will use this stone that I will keep on me or in my lap when I feel like I need a little extra grounding. There's also, of course, essential oils that you can use that help you with grounding too. A few that you could try out if you're into oils are vetiver, patchouli, or myrrh would be a few that I would check out. So, I do have a little PDF that I put together that has some general information about both your root chakra and grounding. If you're interested in that, just send me a DM and I can send it to you. But just let me know. It basically covers some of the information that we covered today. So I know it has been half an hour already, and I have promised to keep these short. So that is what I'm going to share for today. What I'm going to do for our next mini training is I want to be able to share a meditation with you that is both going to help you get grounded and heal and clear your root chakra at the same time. So it's kind of like hitting two birds with one stone, and it's a really simple practice that you can do. And so I'll get that one scheduled on the calendar for us to join, and so we can have a little bit more time to have a deeper experience with that practice. But what I would love to hear, you can either just put it in the chat here, or you can, or maybe I'll create a different post about it this week in the group. But I would love to hear from you all, like practices that you have to keep your root chakra open and functioning really well, and different things that you like to do to be grounded. I think it would be really inspiring for everyone to hear some of these different things. I think sometimes, I don't know, is anyone here just kind of get stuck in a rut and you do the same thing over and over and then you don't feel as connected to it? That happens to me all the time. So I think it would be inspiring for all of us to learn a few different things. Well, hopefully you all found this helpful, learning a little bit more about your root chakra health and the importance of grounding. Leo, yeah, this is a good reminder for me too. What I like to say about energy maintenance is like, you don't know it's a problem until it's a problem. And I do this to myself all the time. It's really good. I'm really good at falling out of routine. Make sure I said that right. Like with exercise, with grounding, all of these things where you're like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't need to do that today. I'm fine. And then the next thing you know, it's a problem. so, so it's definitely something that I suggest doing, something to work on your root chakra and your grounding every day, so it doesn't end up impacting you and becoming a problem. But thank you all for joining me, and next time I see you, we will do a grounding and root chakra healing together. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you all soon.